Clamps. We don't have these in the class. I want them though, because clamps are safer. And quick clamps like these that are fast, okay? They slide in and out, they're quick to use. People use them more when they're fast, right? So just that just that alone makes them safer, because you guys would probably be more prone to use them if they're quick, right? And definitely guys in trades, when they're working, they're worried about making money. They get paid by the hour, they get paid by piecework, which is like, more houses go up, the more money they make, right? So if you have clamps that are slowing you down, you're not making as much money. So they're going to tend not to use them, right? So the tool is going to save you time. It's a good investment. It's always a good investment in tools, especially if they're time-saving tools, okay? So I'm going to get something set up here. I don't have a proper bench or anything. I'm using recycling bins and stuff, but I will do my best to keep it as safe as possible. I'm going to set the square up. So I'm going to use this as a straight edge, so when I run my router through it, I'll pass through it a nice straight edge through it, right? You can't freehand it. I mean, you could try do a line and then try to freehand that router, but you're never going to have good luck. It's not going to be straight, and your board's a straight edge, so it probably wouldn't fit in anyways. You could do it, all the power to you, but I don't see that as an option at all. So what's a good idea to do is, what I want to do is I want to set this up. Oh boy, plugged in. Woo! I want to be doing that. Good thing I thought about it though, right? Okay. This would have been a different video entirely had it turned on. Okay. What I want to do is I want to line up the bit with the edge, right? So I'm going to take up the 3/4. Then I want to push the square tight to the router base and get a number on that. Again, this is a practice piece, so I can run that there. Okay. Now I can clamp this down. I can clamp the square down. A couple real strong clamps, and I can run the base right across that. The router base will stay tight to this, and that'll take out a nice straight notch for me. In theory. Let me get more clamps. Clamps, okay? If you're gonna buy these clamps, actually, I was watching Canadian Tire, Home Depot, Boxing Day, stuff like that. You get big packs of them, way cheaper. You buy them individually, it's a rip-off, to be honest with you. So, okay. Make sure that's tight. There's easier ways to do this. Anyways, I'll show you the hard way. Okay. So that's locked down. I can check it. It's 3 1/4. The square's 3 1/4 from the end. Okay, so if I run this through and I'm happy with it, then I know on my end, on these pieces, when I do them proper, I'll just measure over. I'll hook on the end, measure in 3 1/4, put a line, lock down the square, run my piece on it. It's all good, right? Even if I don't get all the way tight to that line, let's say when I get through this, let's say I've only notched out 1/2 inch or 5/8. That's close enough to the 3/4. I can still measure from that shelf that I notch out down for my length. It's still going to be okay. All right. So again, we have a little bit of room for error in this here. A little bit. You just have to know where those little rooms for error are. Right? I'm going to tie my shoes. I haven't had them tied the whole time, but it's not a good idea to be using power tools and your shoes untied. Okay? Tie your boots up. You don't want to be running across, especially if you're running the router down the length of the piece. Let's say I was running the router down the length of the piece, and I gotta walk a few feet, you know, I gotta shuffle my feet. You don't want your boot laces catching on stuff. Okay, safety first. Okay. If I ask you to do anything safety wise, at least you know a couple safety things. Pay attention. Safety glasses, safety boots, hard hat. It's just me out here. I'll probably be okay without a hard hat, but Not on a job site, right? Okay. High visibility in case my wife pulls into the driveway. That's a joke. She's not out. We're both staying in. Okay. So, glasses. Double check the router. I'm happy with it. It's all locked down. This is locked down. Check it again. You don't know. You know, just in case somebody else is on the site. Say somebody came along and swapped it out or moved it. Always double check it. I'm here by myself, so I'm pretty confident. I've been here the whole time, but it only takes a second to mess you up. Okay, so double check everything. You could be sleepy, tired. Who knows? Check that stuff out. I'm gonna run this right here. Now you have to know which way you're passing this. Okay, that's the other thing. On a table router, the direction of movement is always this way. Okay, so let's say this was mounted in a router base. The material you're running against the bit, it has to travel in this direction. Okay, so when it's upside down, you have to think about that. Which way does it go? So if it's going this way, okay, once you go upside down, okay, it's the opposite kind of, okay? So I actually want to push the router that way, okay? Table router, material goes that way. This, you go that way, okay? Told you exactly. All right. So, something I didn't anticipate. The square didn't run on the edge of the router base. It ran more so on the edge of this plexiglass here. Okay, so okay, have a look. Okay, so you see the router bit took out this notch here. Okay, but we actually went further than we needed. See, I saw this little piece here, and you definitely wouldn't want that because it's just going to rip off anyways. Okay, that doesn't matter. If I wanted to do that, actually, if I wanted to do that height and just leave a little bit extra, now what could happen is it'd be totally fine. I could just cut that off. I can rip that off. I can even go at this with a little knife for the little edge and just shave it with the knife. It'll shave really easily. Then I can attach that. The downside to that is if I have this piece set up and I've attached it to the top, both ends, and then I find out that this piece sticking up makes it so I can't get it level by lifting up the frame to get it on my level lines, then I'm in big trouble. Because then how do I get this little lip? Let me trace it here. You can imagine there'd be a little lip here, right? Okay, and if that line above, if I had to trim that off after, honestly, it'd be a nightmare to do. I'd have to bring it outside. I'd have to use a skill saw, probably run it down the top edge. It wouldn't be a nightmare to do. I could do it pretty easily, but if you haven't done it before, it's just one more step that it would be a pain in the butt. Plus, it's framed. I'm going to frame it in the basement. That's another thing. I'll frame this up in the basement, right? Trying to get it outside without taking it apart would be the toughest part because my staircase is it has two turns in it. It's a 180-degree staircase. Okay, so I go up the stairs, I turn left, and I turn left again, and I go up. So I wouldn't be able to get that frame out. So thinking ahead. So I don't want to take out that much. It's about an eighth more than I needed. Okay, so what I can do is I can measure my first line that I had, and we said it was 3 1/4. It's actually 3 1/4 light, but what I'll do is I'll move that line this way. That'll push the router base out further this way, allowing me to take out less material. Okay. One other thing, when I was going in with that router bit, okay, when I was going in with this router bit, that's a lot of material to take out with that router bit. I'm probably better off to, when I do my final one, in case I forget to mention it, I'm probably going to run along here freehand and just take out a bit, and then I'll come back and run the base tight to the square. That way I only take out half the material each pass. Okay. I just prefer to do that. It takes out less material. If you're working with knife wood, it's less chance of you messing it up. The bit stays cooler, less chance for it to pull and move around on you. It's just easier all around. You know, take little bites out of it. Don't go all the way in. Yeah, so 3 1/4 was what our line for our square base was before. So let's kick that back to 3 1/16, okay? Because I was actually 3 1/4 light just by a little bit. So about 3 1/16. If you don't have a square, you can also clamp up. You can also draw two lines, and then clamp another piece of wood across the top, right? But a square already has that edge to make sure it's squared locked down. So if you have a square, use a square, right? Makes your life easier. Okay. Put that thing down. Check it again, and check it with your line. Always draw the line, because then you can always see, okay, I held it by hand. It's still on that line. It should be good. Okay. Again, safety glasses. Boots are tied. Get those out of my way so I'm not tripping on them. That's good. I'll fire up this router now. Like I said, I had to move this way, but I can come in from here and move that way. I don't have to start over here again. So I'll just start right here. So the depth is so close to 3/4. It's very, very close to 3/4 actually. It's just this, like a 32nd off. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then the depth of my cut, if you can see this, I don't know, right here, the depth of the notch on this panel is a 1/4 inch, say 3/8. So if we have 3/8 this side, 3/8 the other side, that's our 3/4 of an inch total. Okay, I have, say, left and right. Okay, I want to make sure that my chamfered edges are up. Okay, that matters. You don't accidentally do this and then go and realize that you have got chamfered edges down, because then you're gonna have to get the router out and set it to the exact height that you had before, which could be a challenge. Okay, so make sure your chamfered edge is up. Make sure you're working on the right end of the piece. What I'm going to do for this is I'm going to set both these up at the same time, so that way I can just pass the router through one time right on the end of both of them. Okay, I could do them individually, but it's just easier this way. If I can lock them both down, making sure both ends are dead flush right here, then I save myself a little bit of time. So I'm going to measure 3 1/8 here. No harm in doing it a few times. That way you make sure that you're dead on the mark all the way. Okay? If I mess these up, normally I go to Home Depot, right? Oh, I'll just go to Home Depot. I got lots of money. Who cares, right? But not in this situation. Social distancing requires me to stay away from Home Depot. So we work with what we have and make sure we don't mess it up. Okay, so pop that on there, and I put the square on here. Now, the problem we're going to run into doing these at the same time is the square doesn't go across both of them. Okay, so very light line I'm going to trace on there. Okay, here's the problem we're going to run into with those measurements doing this, right? That's the one thing I forgot about. So again, before I was running this, right? And I was running it tight to the edge, and it ran plastic to the square, right? It's thinner. But the material I have is thicker. So there's no way now the router is guaranteed to run tight to that edge. Here's what we'll do. I'll just clamp it down. Now that's okay, because now that I think about it, because it's going to take out less material. That's okay, because as I told you, it's better to make a few passes. So what we'll do is, and the other thing too is, the finished piece here is what, 80 inches I think it was, but I'm working with a piece that's 96 inches long. So if I mess this up, I can cut off a few inches and just do it again. But I don't want to have to do that. So if I put this on here, clamp it down, I'm gonna not take out as much as I want to. So I'll run through a few passes. I'll see how it runs. Clamp down. I'll check the measurement. Okay. And if I find it to be 1/2 inch instead of 3/4, then I know all I have to do is move this another 1/4 of an inch off the line. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Okay. These are flush still. That's very important. All right. Let's run this router and see what happens. See if I mess the whole thing up. Okay. I don't think I will though. Ooh. Hands are cold out here. Alright. Always watch the router, you don't put it down somewhere silly. Maybe your cord or whatever. Okay, so that's what we got. Yeah. I can grab this piece of 3/4, set it on there, and now I can just check right at the edge to say, oh man, I gotta go in more. Definitely do. So 3/16 more that way. So pop off these two. Hopefully do this without too much hassle. Yeah. Okay. 3/16 more that way. Make sure we're measuring from the end and don't accidentally hook on our new notch. That would ruin our day. Alright. Or we could do, you can do this. We can just hook on the new notch. It's fine, but just go 3/16 from that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I can do that. I should sharpen my pencil, but I won't. Video. So it's from the notch now. It's 2 3/4 light, like a 64th light actually. Just being really picky, but that's okay. Okay. So I put the 1 mark there. Run the square across that new line. Yep. Okay. Okay, that's 1. If you want to, you can always just take your square, put it on here after or while you're doing it as well, right? So I have that one clamped on now. Clamp that on really tight. Then grab my other one, get it set up, and then actually just push this square to make sure, and now I'm pushing the wood tight to it, so that way even if my pencil mark was a bit off, I'm I should have that turned out if I did that. Okay, if that makes sense what I'm doing, I'm pulling everything tight, pushing that tight to the square, lock that down really tight. Okay, and that's dead on. Should be good. Okay, we can also check from, I know the ends of this material is, you know, this is just a hair off. Bump it a bit, just a minute amount, so that's good. So I know that if I'm the same distance from the end of this to the very end of this as here, like if this surface here and this surface are parallel, then I also know that it's square, okay? So that might be a good thing to check. So I'm 3 1/4 heavy on this one. And yeah, I'm right on to the 64th. So that's always a good way to check it too. Parallel. As long as you know this is square. I know it's square because this is a factory cut edge. So it's going to be square. Okay. Alright. Now, fire it up for the front of the back. Now, after I'd gone through once, tight to here, I went back through again, okay? Just to make sure that I didn't accidentally shift away from this point, okay? So I did 2 full passes right tight, running tight to the edge, which is good, right? Because that'll make sure that, yeah, I'm right dead on there. Okay, so what I can do now is pull this off 3/4 of an inch, and actually that's dead on. You can see that or not. That's better than I expected we would get actually out of this. I was expecting that we would actually have a little lip here, either in or out, which I was going to live with, but that's actually, yeah, that's perfect. So that's where I want to hook on from. 81, less than my 16th, okay? So I'm going to hook on there. I'm going to slide this that way. Normally I'd run my tape, but I'm sliding. Anyways, let's say 81 light. That's what I'm doing, 81 light, okay? So I'll pop this on, square it, okay? Don't want to be doing this. See how this board is off the end? I need something to lift it up. So I'm going to have to makeshift something. It's not the safest thing to do. But I have realized that the gun case, okay, the gun case for the framing nails is a pretty good substitute for the height here, okay? It's like the same height as the miter saw, so it actually works out kind of nice. And if I leave it between these here, that's definitely safer. Okay, don't try pushing that piece down like without a brace underneath you. Okay, it's not safe. Okay, this should be mounted down to make it even safer. Okay, these are things that, again, safety issues. Okay, so I ask you about safety issues in your log sheets. You can tell me what I was doing dangerous. Okay, that's all right. Call me out. If you see anything else, let me know. I might be doing some dangerous things that I'm not even thinking about. I want to bring it down close, and I'll have my hand right here. See that? So I have it situated tight to here. So any pressure I put, I can't slide my hand that way. Okay? So my hand is tight to this part. And what I'll be doing is I'll come down close to my cut, and then I'll just slowly inch the board over with my thumb, just very slowly. But I'm keeping my hand tight to here. That way I can't accidentally slide my hand in. But I'm just doing that, and I'm kind of just working my hand like that, just to slide it over. So I'll cut down close, and then I'll see how much I have to just move it over just slightly until I get right to that distance, okay? I could also cut it off all the way. And then the other trick I showed you guys, I could cut it off further away, and then just push it in tight to the blade while it's not moving, lift the blade up, and then come back down and take little slices off, okay? But this is my preferred method. So I'm going to come down close. Okay, leave the saw down until the power stops. Safest thing to do. And that's it, right on the mark. Okay, so I've done that for this one. I'll do that for the other one. And then I have to get that top measurement, right? And instead of hooking the tape right on here, actually it's kind of tricky. I want to get a better measurement. So I'll actually line up 3 inches or another whole number. Okay? I'll line up like a whole number with this edge, and then I'll measure. So if I go from this edge 4 inches, 4 inch heavy on both sides. What does that work out? 5/16? 48 1/4. Okay, now I want to add my 1/4 for my left side, heavy, plus my 1/4 for my other side, heavy. So 1/4 of an inch is 4/16. All right. So I double that. I'll go to 8/16 to the half. Plus I'll add 1 more 16th because it was just a tiny bit that I wanted to add on. Okay. So 48 1/4. So 3/4 plus 1/16. Okay. That should give us the distance we need. Now, I also want to make sure when I'm doing this that it's an 8-foot piece, and I just marked a 48 3/4 mark. So I want to make sure that when I'm cutting this, I didn't accidentally rotate it. If I was marking it somewhere else, walk over the saw, rotate it, and then cut on the wrong side of the line. When I'm framing houses, it doesn't matter that much. A blade width here or there, it doesn't. You're not gonna It usually doesn't matter framing houses, but here, that would ruin my piece. If I accidentally cut on this side of the line, right, the blade coming down on this side, I just taken out 1/8 of an inch, and I've made it 1/8 of an inch narrower, and it might not fit, okay? So I definitely don't want to do that. So it might be a good practice just to go like that. All right, you can do this too, okay? Do anything that's going to indicate, yeah, stay on that side, stay on the right side, okay? I mean, in this case, the left side. I want my blade staying on the left side. The correct side is the left side, okay? So, okay, for me, I'm going to hop on the other side. I'm going to cut with my left hand. If you feel comfortable doing that, you can. If not, you rotate the piece around and do it the other way. But I'm comfortable either way. Okay, so check it out. We've got 48 3/4 heavy. That's it. So that locks in my side. Okay. My top will attach like so. All right. And then I'll have the other one, and I'll show you that part in the next section when I'm down in the basement and I have all 3 pieces cut. Okay. All right, guys.